new normal requires workplaces to be safe and flexible for the employee's new work style at reduced operating costs. A world leader in digital workplace solutions, Smarten Spaces, has developed a full suite of AI technology for the future workplace. Jumfree is an all-in-one digital workplace app providing flexibility to employees. With the need to combine work from home and back to work, the workplaces will undergo a transformation. With Jumfree, employees can pre-book seats on the app and find the location of their colleague's seat. Its unique algorithm helps you automatically identify socially distanced seats on a floor plan. Its safety features make sure employees stay secure while adhering to the social distancing norms, ensuring that everything is contactless. Smarten Spaces Desk in Space Management is the world's first end-to-end solution, providing safety and flexibility on a single technology platform. It helps save costs and provides deep insights while taking less time to deploy. With over 100 deployments in 30 cities worldwide, Smarten Spaces technology is ready to help transform your workplace for a changing world. Smarten Spaces. Let's reimagine our workspaces. The new normal requires
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. It is with much pleasure to welcome you and have you with us in this Ricoh's webinar. My name is Gladys Wong, and I'm from the Corporate Planning and Marketing. COVID-19 has taken the world by storm. Businesses are caught by surprise by an invisible enemy that can cripple an entire world economy. Singapore is by no means spared from the wrath of COVID-19. Living under the new norm demands we convert our office spaces to a smart and safe workplace to protect our businesses and employees' health while adhering to safety rules and regulation. So, what are the solutions for companies to adopt under the new way of working, which requires flexibility while optimizing office spaces? Before I introduce our panel speakers today, we want to do a quick poll of 3 questions. On the pop-up, you will see the poll to drop in your answers. These are the 3 questions that we would like to get your views on. Results will be shown shortly. Okay, I don't see the poll coming up. While you're doing the poll, okay, the poll is up. Hope everyone to see the poll. Tell us what you think. It's very important. Okay, in the meantime, let me introduce our panel speakers. It is my privilege to have Martin Dovant, Regional Director of Smarten Spaces, and Alvin Lim, Head of Digital Workplace, Ricoh Singapore, to share with us best practices for transitioning to a safe and flexible workplace. And before we welcome them on board, okay, some quick housekeeping guide. You are muted by default. So if you'd like to raise a point or questions, please post them on the chat box. Towards the end of the presentation, we have a Q&A session, which you can post your question again on the chat box, and our presenters will try their best to answer them. Do note that this session will be recorded. Now, do we have the poll results? See, let me check in with my tech team. They are still tabulating the results. So let's give them some time. Quite interesting to see what we have. Okay, apparently it's up, but is it showing? Let's see. Okay, here are the results. Wow, we have 92% that has already introduced flexible and hybrid working to their employees. That's awesome. How are you managing employee work schedules and seating arrangements? We have 46% still doing it manually. 36% technology automation, not bad, we're getting there. None of the above, 18%, okay, that's good news. Right, would you like to introduce flexible and hybrid working in our organization? Wow, very good, 90%. Looks like hybrid and flexible working space is the way to go. And with that, let me allow me to hand over the time to Alvin to start the session. Alvin, please. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you see me? Hi, okay. It is my privilege to be here sharing with you today how Ricoh is actually working with our partner, Smarten Spaces, to bring this technology-driven method, right, to introduce flexible and safe workplace to your organization. Okay, I will proceed to share my screen right now, and do let me know if you are able to see my screen. Is my screen showing?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you, Gladys, for introducing earlier. My name is Alvin. So I work with a team of digital workplace services consultants in Ricoh, Singapore. It is also my pleasure to have Martin with me today. We will be sharing with you on this safe and flexible workspace topic today. Right. Now, we all know that because of COVID-19, especially in Singapore, we are currently in a very fluid situation, right? Just a very quick recap of what we went through. In April, we got April 2020, right? We got into circuit breaker. And then we started working from home. And we went into phase 1 in June. We still work from home by default, okay? And we stepped into phase 2 2 weeks later, and the economy slightly opened up a bit. The government has allowed 50% to resume back to office to work on a team A, team B basis, if you remember, right? And then we went into phase 3, which we said that we would open up further in the 28th of December, but the workforce remains at 50%. So it is still team A, team B from June to December. And after which situation improved. In April, we went into a 75% more, right? We have had stable non-infections, no local transmissions, for example. So we went into 75%. But barely after a month, we went back to 50%. And now we are all in the HA phase, right? The high alert phase, where we are currently back to work from home by default. Now, this may seem like simple numbers, right? Work from home, 50%, 75%, and then back to 50% and work from home. But the changes that are made to this workplace arrangement, actually, if you are in the human resources scope of work, area of work, you would agree that while the manpower planning, the office arrangements, administrations, the safe distancing configurations of your workplaces and workstations is really a hassle. All right. Some may disagree, maybe 50%. Yeah, we can use manual tabulation of my employees, and then we will just split them into team A, team B, and they just have to adopt to it. When we were at 75 back to 50, we can just pull up the previous plan. But do bear in mind that along this way, people are actually, we also have to cater for employee movements, people who join, people who leave, and then there are people that the team expands or reduce. So therefore, the 50% is very fluid as well, right? The 75% is also very fluid. How do we make sure that those essential colleagues, essential functions of our organization are 100% in the office? Then which are the functions that are not 100% can be on a rotational basis, right? So this situation already is fluid because of the environment, because of the COVID irregularities, right? So we don't know what's going to happen in the coming months, right? That's why the ... happens there. We may have a better scenario, we may improve, we may go back to 50%, or the work from home may extend, we're not sure yet. So we really have to be prepared in terms of whenever the government or the authorities announce further changes. So Ricoh as an organization, you would have, most of you would have known us as a office equipment manufacturer, all right? But we are moving towards being a digital workplace service provider, okay? And the whole objective of this is to basically enable our clients, our customers, to achieve this agility in the work environment, the work experience, right? We call this the agile work experience. So it comprises of an agile workspace, not really by choice, but it is driven by situation. We all need to have a workplace that is very agile now. It's good to see from the poll earlier that most of you have already achieved a hybrid or a mobile workplace, right? Activity-based workplace. So agile workspace is the way moving forward for most organizations, and coupled with agile workflow, right? To have an agile workplace, it's not just about renovating and changing the way people sit. It's not like from a traditional fixed desk sitting to a hot desking, for example. In order to achieve that kind of working environment, the workflow within the organization has to improve as well. It has to be transformed, right? They go through digital transformation, and it's basically driven by needs. And that brings the agile worker, which is you and me, right? We are all working for an organization that is moving forward towards an agile workspace, driven by agile workflows. And we are the users and the occupants of this entire agile work experience. So Ricoh as an organization, it is, again, our aim and our objective to help businesses achieve this agile work experience. So how do we achieve this? We have our four-pronged approach, all right? Four key pillars to focus on in achieving and creating the agile work experience, if you can see. Starting off from the smart and safe workplace. The words are pretty self-explanatory, right? Smart and safe workplace are things like we want to enable workplaces to be digitally connected for moving forward, agile work style, yet having a workplace still for employees to come back, to return to, and to be working in. Okay, and of course, the other approaches are like remote workers, right? Technologies to enable remote working, process automation as a third pillar, right? How do we enable? Remember, we talk about agile processes, right? And eventually, the cloud and IT infrastructure, the backbone of what is supporting the entire digital transformation that businesses are moving towards, right? But today we're here to talk about this, a smart and safe workplace, okay? And it is again my pleasure to have Smarten Spaces, our partner, with us. Okay, just a very quick introduction about Smarten Spaces. They're basically the world leading flexible end-to-end hybrid workplace solution on a single technology platform, driven strongly by artificial intelligence, right? And they have partnerships with over 45 global tech companies, including big names like Microsoft, Cisco, HID, Siemens, and etc. Okay, and the solution that we're going to share with you later, all right, very soon, is basically an award-winning digital workplace solution. It is able to do certain functions like optimize real estate spaces, to drive workforce culture, to shift to flexible, and of course to enhance all the employee experience. Okay, so listed in this slide here basically is all the awards that they have been awarded recently, right? Martin, are you here with me, Martin? Hello, Martin. Am I missing you, Martin? All right, no worries. I'll just continue from here, right? So without further ado, right, just let me bring this session forward. Seeing is believing. We've spoken a bit about what this platform, this award-winning solution is all about, right? Things like workforce scheduling, giving you statistics and analytics, desk management, for example. So I will hand the time over now to Smarten Spaces to share with you, to do a quick flow, right, of how this platform basically works and how it benefits organizations in moving forward. Yep, so Smarten Spaces, you want to take over from here?
Thanks, Alvin. So let me just share my screen, and good afternoon to everyone and good evening. Just give me one moment. I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes,
so yeah, thanks, Alvin. So thanks, Alvin. So hi everyone. So as Alvin covered, the hybrid workplace technology is the new normal, along with the safety factors to come in place. So what we have come out with, and we've been in inception since last 5 years, but obviously pandemic has accelerated a lot of things what we are doing. So what we have come out with a complete end-to-end AI-based solution, which comprises majorly of two parts. One is a front-end mobile app, which is being displayed on the screen. And second is a web dashboard, which I'll be showcasing in short course of time. Now, we understand every organizations would have multiple locations across Singapore, across the globe itself. So depending on the location, what you choose, all the data which I'll be showcasing you shortly would be loaded as per that location, be it the desks, be it the collaboration spaces, be it the visitors, self-assessment, all those. Next was basically showcasing you what your today's schedule looks like. So what meeting room bookings I have, what desk bookings I have, it's completely personalized, but it gives you a glimpse of how your day looks like. The next is all about your news, events, announcements, anything as an HR, as an admin, facilities wants to be communicated to the employees can be done via this single app itself. A sanitization drive, what the policies are, all of it can be done in this one app. And last but not the least, this is where all the various modules, what Alvin was speaking about in terms of the hybrid technology, in terms of the safety, would come and sit out here. So you could have a seat booking, a meeting room booking, the self-assessment, all these various. Just before I deep dive into the hybrid technology or the desk management and the workforce management, one point I'd like to highlight is the level of configurability and the focus we give on the employee experience. What do I mean by that? Is let's say my first car out here is booking and second is safety is important. I can simply go on to my web dashboard. This is a web dashboard which I've just switched over. I can do a lot of changes and configurations on the fly on the dashboard itself. So I can change this title. Let's say I want to call this reservation. I can even change the language if I want. I want to call this book your spaces, change the image, change the tagline. All of these can be changed and I can save this. Additionally, I can reprioritize my cars depending as per your organization, what is your priority out there, right? For some, safety is important reservations, these various things would come into play. And as and when I do these changes, it is instantaneously reflected out here on my app. So that's the level of configurability what we are talking in this whole solution of hybrid technology and safety. Let me now deep dive into the whole desk management and workforce management. I'll just cover a few basic functionalities on the web dashboard wherein you are onboarding the data, doing some basic configurations. First and foremost, I am onboarding all your locations and all your floor plans. So wherever your office is, which location, building, floor, the lease period, and I onboard your floor plans. Now, the beauty of the system is once I onboard the floor plan, the system automatically understands what various workstations are there in the environment. So 179 running counters, 43 cabins, and these names what you're seeing are completely configurable as per the environment. But the gist out here is I'm digitizing all the floor plans. Once I have done this, now this is an important piece. One of the important piece I would say what Alvin was also covering is the whole social distancing, which is quite prevalent in the current times itself. So let's say I have onboarded a floor plan with a capacity of 262 workstations. All my workstations are active without any social distancing. But we also know whenever again people are coming back to work and in whatever percentage, right? I would not want them sitting next to each other's workstation. I would want some gap, some social distancing between the workstations. So at a click of a button, I can enable social distancing across all the buildings and floors, or I could choose a particular floor and enable social distancing. I could choose a parameter in meters of feet. Let's say I choose 1.8 meters, which is nothing but 6 feet, and I apply. Now, what the whole AI-based algorithm does, it checks really each and every seat that this social distancing needs to be maintained. And basis on that, it provides me an output that 122 workstations are active, 140 are inactive. And now if I click on the floor plan, it showcases me the seats which have been enabled and the seats which have been disabled. And all this is being done within a matter of seconds rather than you checking every seat manually out there itself or taking a tape and measuring that. So if you see with the tick marks and cross marks, I see the social distancing getting enabled and enabling and disabling the seats. Let me just zoom in a bit to showcase you what more I'm talking out here. So let's say this seat 113 is enabled. That is why the other seats in the vicinity are disabled. I can also get to know exactly why by what we call social distancing circles. That since this seat is enabled, that's why the other seats are disabled. Now, even though the system provides this whole output in a very automated and optimum manner, but for some reason you want to manually enable or disable a seat. Let's say you've introduced a new glass barrier, right? We give you that functionality also that you can manually enable or disable a seat. Additionally, sitting at a central location, you can convert all of these files to a PDF, take a printout, share it with your colleagues that this is the plan that needs to be followed. And let's say once everything normalizes back, you can simply disable the social distancing. Or for that matter, let's say policies change instead of 1.8 meters, I want 2 meters or 1 meter, I can simply change and apply that. But the gist out here is how am I creating the social distancing or gaps between the workstations, right? Next, I'll come to, and one of the last piece on the dashboard is the desk booking. Again, we know the offices who are opening and as per the policies, how fluidly it's changing as Alvin covered, 50%, 75%. As an organization, you may want to do it 30% also. It may vary, right? And when you open, right, you would want to have some neighborhoods or zones, whatever the percentage might be, but the hybrid is there to stay. It's not a one-to-one mapping now. So what we've also got is I could create neighborhoods or zones. So as an example, I select an IT department or a particular project or a particular team. And I can choose a certain date range, let's say from today till the end of this month. And it could be again 1 month, 3 months. It showcases me the availability of seats across the buildings, across the floors. Once I select the floor, it opens a Formlab to showcases me seats which are available, reserved, occupied, or disabled. I can select a certain block of seats. So let's say I select this block, which I'm reserving for the IT department. So what am I doing out here is basically I have created a neighborhood or a zone for IT such that only the employees belonging to the IT department can view and book these seats. Employees belonging to any other department will not be able to do so. So that's the level of configurability again, what we provide out here. Let me move back to the app again, once again, to showcase you what the end user will experience. Now, let's say as an end user, I want to come to office and book a seat. Simply on my mobile app, I click on seat booking. It loads the same floor map layout, what was onboarded and configured from the dashboard, including the disabled seats, the reserved seats, the occupied seats, all those details. In fact, I can see the availability of seats across the buildings and floors, select a particular floor. I can even, before booking, I can even search for my colleague. So let's say I have a work with my colleague, Anthony. I can search for him. It will show me whether he's come to office or not, which seat, which location, and clicking on this arrow icon, it can showcase me where exactly he's seated until what time has he booked the seat. So the whole idea out here is I can book a next available seat to Anthony to collaborate with him rather than booking a seat on some other corner or some other floor, right? Now, once I've decided these, I can do a booking for today, tomorrow, whichever day, or I can choose a certain time that I want a seat within this certain time period. It will showcase me the availability of seats during this time period. I can zoom in, see the seat number, select a particular seat, and book a seat right now. So it's as simple and as easy as that. Once I've booked a seat, I get the confirmation both in-app as well as the email confirmation. I can go to my bookings and see all the bookings that have been done, be it historical, future, current, right? Now, what we've also got, which most of our clients, as per our experience, have taken is the check-in functionality. What does check-in do? Let's say I have booked a seat from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. I need to check in onto my seat within the initial 10 or 15 minutes, a configurable time. If I do not do the check-in, the seat gets automatically released and gotten back into the common pool, helping in my seat and space optimization. Now, there are multiple ways to do check-ins using a QR code, sensors, beacons. Every solution has its own advantages. While a sensor would do or provide you a real-time occupancy, the QR codes are way more economical and scalable, right? So that's on the desk booking. Let me move back to the dashboard just to showcase you a few more things out here. Again, prevalent in the current times is the whole contact tracing feature. So let's say Sumit, who's coming to office regularly, unfortunately, he's turned out positive. As an admin, facilities, or HR, depending who's handling, last 1 week, last 1 month, within, let's say, a 4-meter desk radius, who all had booked a desk near to Sumit, or who all were a part of the same meeting room as Sumit. It gives you all that data also. So what I'm trying to say out here is it helps you do some damage control if someone turns positive and you want to know more about that, right? Additionally, while I showcased you these features, we also provide the option to book via the dashboard by the employee. Just one point I'd like to highlight out here. Our whole solution is quite roles and responsibility based, that as an admin or a HR, I may have functionality to all these modules, but to the end user, I may give them access just to the mobile app and the My Booking. It's completely configurable, right? Moving on, then we've got a rich set of data and analytics, as Alvin covered, to help you understand how your spatial utilization is also, right? To take informed decisions. So what are the bookings by departments? We see finance is doing much more booking. What are the behavior? We've seen as low as 20% to as high as almost 35, 38% being auto release, that people book seats or rooms, but do not check in. Why do you want that space to get wasted, which can be used by someone else also? So again, which is the most popular seat, the seat types, the various seat occupancy, department-wise utilizations, a lot of data and analytics to help you take informed decisions, right? Next, I'll move to is the workforce management. See, while I showcased you how you can book desks, but let's say many of the organizations, especially in these current times, would want HR or the managers to manage their workforces to say, let's Sumit should come in this week, Alvin should come in next week, right? Those various permutation combinations can happen. So what we've also got out here is the whole workforce management, wherein first and foremost, I can define my team. So I define my team, John, Ria, Jenny, these various people, and I can define who is permanently working from home, who is permanently working from office, excuse me, and who all are flexible enough, right? Once I have defined my team, I can simply go back and run a scheduler. So I can choose which team, which location. I can define how many people I want to work from home. And again, what Alvin covered, this is completely configurable just at a click of a button. Today I want 50%, tomorrow I want 25, day after I want 75. Just at a click of a button, you change these things rather than going back again and again to see how to change, right? I could define a daily, weekly, monthly roster. Do I want a 1 day, 2 day, 3 days roster? Do I want a 1 month, 2 month roster? Or let's say I want a weekly roster for 1 week. I want a roster starting from, let's say, coming Monday till the end of next month. And it could be again 1 month, 3 months, whatever time period you choose. Additionally, what we've also got, if you see these two toggle buttons, is the BCP, that the business continuity planning, what generally is being followed now, team A, team B. My team will be split into two batches, batch one, batch two, or team A, team B, and they would come alternatively, never meeting each other. So I can enable this to enable the BCP, as well as I can enable the automatic desk allocation. So while I showcased you how the employee can book a desk by themselves, but we've also got the functionality wherein the workforce will be rostered, as well as the seats will automatically be assigned to these employees who are coming to office. So let's say I apply this particular schedule. Within a matter of a second, it gives me the roster or the schedule. I choose from 24th May onwards, and it showcases me out that Priya and Jenny are working from home and office permanently for the next 38 days, the time I had chosen the roster for, while John, Rohan, Ayush are working from home and office respectively. I can see this in a calendar view. So I get to know John is working from home this week, and next week he's working from office out here. I decide that, let's say this week also, the earlier week, I want John working from home, and I'm fine anyone else working from office. I can swap these people also, right? What happens at the employee front? He would get a notification on his email as well as the mobile app that this is his roster, this is his seat, and he can see it on the dashboard also what his roster is, right? So if I just choose from next month, it showcases me the roster. These days I'm coming to office, these I'm working from home. And if I save and assign the seats, which I have done out here, let's say I've chosen this and I save and assign, the system automatically assigns the seats also to these employees out here itself. Now, the beauty of the system also out here is it assigns the seats in a certain defined zone and neighborhood rather than scattering. And if you see desk number 107, 5, and 9, if I change the roster or change the schedule to next week, the desk number are still remaining the same rather than scattering them around. And again, as an employee, if I just refresh this, I can see what my roster is also, what the seat number is also out here itself, right? I can even apply for leave or request for change, which will go to my manager for approval, and he can accordingly approve or reject, and that would also be reflected out here. So this is where I would get the notification for approval or rejecting for a leave and all, and I could approve or reject that. So again, that's overall on the workforce management, also showcasing how fluid the situation and how technology can easily automate that, helping you in quick decisions and quick turnaround things, right? While I focused on majorly on the hybrid piece of it, just covering in next 1 or 2 minutes what other features we have. And one important point out here, see, ours is a whole single integrated platform digitizing the workplaces. As an organization, you need not go to think of going to 10 different apps and employee login, which itself is very cumbersome. So why not have one single app, which I showcased you the seat booking already, but in this one single app, you'll have the meeting room also, wherein an employee can see all the meeting rooms along with the name, capacity, amenities. I can filter amenities, I can do a booking. We are bidirectionally integrated with Outlook and GSU. And you can do a check-in similar to a seat also out here. And if you do not do a check-in, the meeting room also gets automatically released. Then we've got various safety features. We've got the self-assessment that even before an employee comes to office, they need to fill in the self-assessment. And these questions, what you're seeing, are completely configurable from the dashboard. You want to ask 2, 4, 10 questions. And if the answers are correct, then only the employee should come to office. If not, he should not come to office. And this is also an important, again, in the current times, right? Then we've got The FAQs, anything which you want to communicate to the employees can be put out here, safety guidelines or anything. In times of emergency, you don't want your employees to scramble for numbers. Just at a click of a button, an emergency call can be placed. The building occupancy, you want to set a threshold that only 50% or 40%, 75% should be in the building, and you should want to monitor that. You can have that done also via the building occupancy. Then you've got a mobile-based access. Instead of the physical RFID cards, you can use a mobile-based again, which would be completely a contactless entry. And mobile is a personal device for everyone, which I'm touching in day in, day out. Then we've got a complete contactless visitor entry management with self-assessment that even for visitors, I don't need any tablets, registers. They use their mobile phones and QR codes to come to the office. And they also fill in a health declaration. Then we've got the whole service request that any issues which the employees face, they can raise a request, right? And our service requests follow a complete SLA and escalation matrix. That if a certain ticket is not resolved within a certain time period, it gets escalated to the next level. Then we've got the whole community piece that any announcements which you want to make, any events which you're conducting can again be pushed out here, a sanitization drive, a town hall meeting, anything. Any initiative feedback you want to take from your end users, that can be added in the service. Any offers you're having for your employees, it can be added in the offers. And then you've got the whole smart food that sitting at my desk, I can view what the menu is, make the order online, place the payment also online, and notify when the whole order of food is ready. So that's an overall at a high level. I covered the other modules, but the whole focus and idea being that where the new normal is going, the hybrid workplace technology, along with safety, which plays a very equal and important role, right? So handing it back over to Alvin and Martin thereafter.
Thanks, Sumit.
Thank you, Sumit. Hi, Martin. Good to have you back.
I hope you're hearing me now.
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. I was screaming at the computer and asking myself, well, doesn't this work? I think it has been my first webinar in maybe 2 months, because of course everything went face to face. So I guess these are the teething problems which reoccur again.
Right. Okay, so thank you, Sumit, for sharing with us on how Smarten Spaces and Jumpri can actually make the administration of, especially in HR, right? All the arrangements of employee, workforce rostering, or safe distancing configuration within an organization. So it's as simple as clicking, as sliding sliders and getting things done, and instantly the employees will all be notified, right, on the arrangements, on the rostering, on the schedule, and it is not fixed. Employees can actually request to their managers for change. If, for example, I am scheduled to work from home today, but I need to come into the office, I will submit a request, and my manager will have the right to say yes or no to my request for coming back to the office. Looks awesome. Martin, I have a question for you though. Been in an organization that basically offers such a technology to businesses and companies right now, right? What is it in your view? How do you see is needed to make hybrid working a success within an organization?
It's a very good question, Alvin. But thank you for asking that. Of course, this is what we get asked many times, right? People are want to move to a flex desk, a hybrid desk, a digital workplace, but it's a very new concept to a lot of people, right? And actually, to be very honest, we start getting these questions already way before COVID came around. But COVID helped, of course, to accelerate this. Look, what makes it successful is, I guess, with any change management process, is how do you make a solution like this stick? You know, it's not only. I wish it would be as easy as giving all the people the app and everything would be solved, right? So it's not, technology is not the only part and only thing which plays a part. It's a very important enabler, and I can't, of course, discount the technology because we are providing that ourselves. But I think workforce culture and giving people the flexibility to work at a place where they feel safe is, I think, one of the key requirements, right? You want to create that conducive environment for people to come back to. You also want to give them an option to be safe, and you want to give them an option to always keep interacting with your company wherever they are. So that's why you saw that community piece within the app is very important. So I think if you can change that culture and give people maybe even the control of their hybrid workday in their own hands, that I think could make things very successful. I think on that note, what Sumit just showed, the rostering, the work from home rostering, in our new release in August, we will put that back into the employee's hand. So it's either the boss can or the manager can roster it, but also you can roster it yourself from the app. So you see our solution also keeps evolving, and because we see that the workplace keeps evolving, right? 50%, 75% back to office. So we also make sure that our content always stays up to date. But I would like to bounce that question back also to you, Alvin. What do you feel what makes it makes a hybrid workplace a success?
Well, basically, you've covered my thoughts exactly. I think hybrid workplace is not just a place, but actually it's also a work style, right? It requires a lot of a culture change, right? No longer people will have the flexibility of having the paper documents with them. No longer people will have the luxury of having a pedestal below their desk, because when we talk about hybrid, we are basically working almost anywhere, everywhere. So culture has to change, but it has to couple with digital transformation, right? Paper should not be the main medium of information exchange anymore. We should go through a true digital transformation, which is why Ricoh, as an organization, we are empowering digital workplaces, right? Yeah, so that's our core belief. Just a reminder, right, to the audiences here. Basically, it's not just about a session where I ask Martin questions and Martin asks me questions. So feel free to pop in your questions that you may have for the both of us. I will be more than happy to answer your questions. All right? Yeah. So yeah, Martin, that's basically my thoughts in having a successful hybrid work style or hybrid workplace especially in the current environment, right? It's essential.
Yeah, no, I of course fully agree on that, and we have been of course seeing that a lot of companies around Singapore and the world are already start doing this. I think before I ask you a question, I see that there is a question on the Q&A. I think so. An anonymous person is asking, how long does it take to implement this technology? I could answer that, I guess. Look, because technology is something which has been built, is built once and replicated very fast, right? So it is not that we are building a completely customized solution for every different person or every different company around. We have a single solution with different modules which you can turn on and turn off, and everything lives in the cloud. So that makes it easy and very fast to deploy. Look, if you want to use this system as it is without any integrations, it could be online in as fast as 2 weeks, right? Of course, sometimes we will need to have some time to clear some IT. There is some cybersecurity which always want to look into the system. Of course, that will need to be managed more from the customer side. But you could set it up in 2 weeks. If you have some complex integrations or like an integration with your Outlook, in 4 to 6 weeks would also be able to set it up. So it is relatively short implementation timelines for a comprehensive system like this.
Right. Thank you.
That answers the question.
Yeah, we hope that answers your questions, because definitely it's a very good question as well for technology adopters, right? To want to implement something like this to benefit an organization. If I were to take half a year to implement this, by the time probably the need is over, right? So speed to implement is definitely essential. Yep. Do we have any other questions? Oh yeah. So this looks like a lot to implement. How should I decide where to begin? Yeah, maybe I'll try to answer that, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
And correct me if I'm wrong, yeah? So basically, yes, what Sumit has shown earlier, there are multiple modules, all right? But as with every technology implementation, we first have to ask ourselves, what is the objective of wanting to acquire this technology, right? Is it something that I want to, is workforce management, for example, is workforce management the core objective, or is safe distancing configuration the core objective? All right, so we will define a together with you on your primary objective, and then phase out the deployment for you. As what Martin has mentioned, it takes as short as 2 weeks to onboard maybe your office layout, and then define your modules that you require, and then get it go live so that you can achieve your short-term goal almost immediately. Yeah. So Martin, anything to add on from there?
No, I think you covered very well. And look, on top of that, again, since it's a software but it's already pre-built, you can just toggle modules on and off. Sorry. So if you are very keen on trying the social distancing and the desk booking for now, and later you also find out that maybe a service request would help for you or something, or you want to have that community engagement piece, and at a flip of a button, and another maybe another 2 trainings to your teams, we can put it live as well. So I think, yeah, it's very flexible to use, and you can start very small and end up very big. Actually, we see that most of our clients grow with us. You know, they start with a small module and they will grow all the way out.
So talking about scalability, right? Because this is a software that is hosted, it is basically accessible anywhere. So what happens is, if an organization has multiple sites or even exists in multiple countries, this software basically is able to scale up and expand to the use of all the sites just using one platform. And you will get collated information. You saw analytics earlier, so you would be able to collate the information across all various sites along the way. Yeah. Okay. We have another question here. What are the biggest drivers for clients to start using this digital workplace tool?
Wow, good. Also a good question. I think there are actually multiple drivers. Actually, it depends on client by client, right? I think a very easy to see and easy to feel use case is actually what we are discussing today, right? A lot of people are struggling with how do I bring my people back to office, one. But then that was a question I got from a client 2-3 weeks ago. But now, ever since we are going into our mini lockdown, or a mini CB, people are thinking of, okay, I see we're moving from 50% to 75%, like Elvin was sharing earlier in the discussion. How am I managing that? And if you have an office with 10 people, then it's of course quite easy to pivot. But once you grow and you have 100, 200, 300, 400, how are you going to manage this back and forward without hiring somebody just to do that? Right? So that is another driver. A third driver is, and it's usually for the bigger companies, they look at this 2 ways. They say, okay, I can move into hot desking for my whole staff. And let's say you have 100 people in your office. But if at any point in time 40% is working from home, I don't need 100 desks anymore. So they use it for space optimization. They will use the software, they will see how the space is used, and then decide at a certain moment in time to give up some space. And now, because of the pandemic, of course, a lot of landlords are also a little bit more keen to, or maybe not so keen, a little bit more forced to relook into their rental contracts. And sometimes we even hear from developers, they will say, look, I will let my people of my tenants renegotiate their contracts just to prevent them to not running away from me. So I think those are the 3 main things: moving to flex, the whole COVID, and space optimization.
Right. Thank you for that, Martin. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Leong. Okay. We have another question. Are there any similar solution provider to Smarten Spaces?
Of course, I would say no. No, of course, there are, look, the thing is, there are people offering similar solutions because you have but usually they are very focused around one of the modules we're offering. So there are people very good at hot desking, very good at building room booking systems. Some are very good to build a community app, but there are little people who bring it all together onto one platform. And on top of that, also work and integrate third-party systems within the office environment. Is it your Outlook, Microsoft Teams? Could it be? Could you integrate it on certain point of view systems like Ricoh is offering, smart door locks, etc., etc., and bring that all together onto one platform? I think that is what makes us unique versus the competition.
Right. I think basically in short, right, Smarten Spaces is a very comprehensive end-to-end workplace solution. Whereas if you were to look at similar products out there in the market, we would say no, because when we were basically shortlisting partners to partner with to bring this to you guys as our clients, we also have done some form of competitor analysis, product analysis as well, right? So Smarten Spaces basically offers one of the most comprehensive and complete workplace solution, from basically managing a office to a building to buildings across countries, right? All in one. So we hope that answers your question. The next is what differentiates your solution with other products platform in the market available today? I think we did cover some of these key differentiators already earlier. So if you need more information, please feel free to get back to us. Yeah. And next, what clients are using the solution in Singapore and globally? Well, Martin, I'm not sure if you could give some names to some of.
I think let me start off with our most recent and our most celebrated client here in Singapore, which is Ricoh. Ricoh is of course one of the users of our software, and we are now implementing that. But of course, besides Ricoh, we have there are three, let's say, stacks of clients we serve. So we have enterprises where on workplaces like we're discussing today. Secondly, commercial real estates and co-working spaces. So if you want to have specific names, like in Singapore, we have our biggest clients in terms of footprint is the DBS Bank. So we manage the workforce and the offices of all DBS banks globally. Another client is Mondelez, who make the Cadbury chocolates and the Oreo cookies. But also more local companies like Singapore Stock Exchange, various government entities, which protect our country. Let's put it that way, right? I cannot name any further. But also small co-working spaces like Treehouse. It's a co-working space based in Funan. So we have a very wide range of customers in Singapore, as well as our global headquarters is here.
Right. Well, just a quick disclaimer that when we mention these customer names, I'm sure they have given their prior approval, right, to us.
Yes.
Right, just in case. For the government agencies, obviously we are under NDA, so we do not mention the agency names. Yeah. So, all right. With another question, we're mindful of time, so we have about 6 minutes to go. So we'll just answer as many as we can. With so much uncertainty nowadays, right? People are moving into in and out of office, tending to work from home, right? Why would one opt for this solution at this point in time? Should they adopt the wait and see how methodology, right?
It's also a good question. And also, look, especially in times like these, people turn to a wait and see very fast, right? You don't know what's going to happen. Are we going to open up? Are we going to close? Do I need this solution now? Do I need this solution tomorrow? Are we really going to enter a hybrid workplace, or is everything going to go back to normal? And to be very honest, and maybe up until a few weeks ago, I had a similar feeling. Oh, everything is going steady, 50%, 75%. I was really hoping I would go even back home, see my parents. You know, I'm not even though I've been in Singapore for a long time, Of course, as you can see, not from here. But look, all this uncertainty needs to have, I guess, a tool to manage that. And I think that is why this is the right place. And actually now is the right moment if everything is in lockdown. If you want to try something like this, get it quickly deployed. And once the lockdown is over, or the little CB, you could already start using this.
Right. Okay, and we have one more question. Your social distancing tool demonstrated earlier within seconds is very unique. Well, because of time, sorry, it was so short. Yeah. Is it currently patented, as we have seen some closely similar social distancing features as well?
Okay, that is indeed. Look, I don't think social distancing by itself is patented, but at least the AI engine behind the social distancing is patented. And then I'll need to dive a little bit deeper to tell you why our social distancing software is different from others. So what we will do is we will onboard your floor plan in AutoCAD. We can calculate the distances between the desks, and we will not only just say, okay, those social distancing 1.5 meters, so everything 1.5 meter apart will get grayed out and will not be usable. No, our AI takes into calculates what is the optimum number of desks I can free up within this space given the constraint. So I don't just take any desks. No, I will look at all the desks. How are they fitting together, and how can I make the optimal number of people sit here without breaking any social distancing rules? So that our technology and our AI does automatically, and that is patented in and all these IP rights sit here in Singapore. On top of that, we also take into account if there have been bookings has been made previously. We try not to kick people out of their out from their desk, even though we are changing the percentages of people. So it's not only social distancing, but there's an AI engine and there's brain behind all this. Hope that passes.
Thank you for explaining the tech and the patent behind. Yes, I do agree that social distancing is something that is so general, right? But the algorithm in your AI would be the one that is more of your IP, and patent would make more sense. So, okay, I think we're about time. Thank you, Martin, for answering the questions, and thank you to the audience as well for all your questions. For those who may have more questions, feel free to reach out to us, right? Otherwise, maybe Gladys, you may want to take over from here.
Yes. Thank you to our panel of guests, Martin and Alvin, for sharing and providing invaluable insights to best practices for transitioning to safe and flexible workplace. And we want to give a big thank you to all participants for taking this time to attend the webinar. We'd love to get feedback from you. And if there's a particular business solutions that interests you, please indicate in your submission. And how do you go about doing that? Okay, just provide us your contact details shown in this QR code as seen on your screen, or the link that will be provided in the chat box coming up shortly. I'll leave the screen on for a couple more minutes so that you can take down the particulars. So with this, we have come to the end of our session. Once again, we thank you for your presence. Stay safe, stay healthy. Catch you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.